fingers growing hard from the chords he's played. His front two teeth got black tea stains. 1,000 days out in the sun. His face has a line for every single one.
So something that I probably should have realized sooner is that, like, vlogs kind of don't need an intro. Like, I'm always doing my hi, I'm Lindy Jung, soon to be traditionally published author, whatever. I don't know, I feel like everyone who's watching my writing vlogs at this point, y'all already know me. So what am I even doing? Hello, welcome to a week in my life. I was really going back and forth on whether or not to film this video, and then I realized I just have like kind of too much interesting stuff going on this week, and I want to record it for posterity. It's not like terribly interesting, but last week I did start grad school up again. I am doing my final semester before I get to be a teacher forever, and it is pretty light, so I'm only going into the city twice a week. I'm a commuter student. It's about an hour each way. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a realistic week of what it looks like to be a grad student, albeit with a slightly lighter academic load. And to also be a writer. Sorry, this might be terrifying to look at. I can't really tell because my glasses are off, but I didn't finish my makeup, so we gotta multitask here. And yeah, it's kind of my last shot, my last summer to really show the student life and writing life balance. It'll be kind of fun also because this week I'm fairly certain I'm going to reach the end of Act 1 of CRYPTS for the first time. We're about 12 or 13,000 words into the draft of my adult gothic fantasy about necromancers with a touch of romance. I feel still like very excited about this book. I feel positive about this book. Very excited to like get a full draft out. Actually, last week I sent the first 2 chapters to Becca, Amina, Taylor, and Mick, and they all gave me like really wonderful feedback. And I do feel like the first little bit of this book is solid. I also think the last little bit of this book is solid. We'll get to that in a bit. But one of my goals for this draft, something that I'm really pushing myself to do, to try, is to write the book in a linear fashion, so actually writing all the scenes in order rather than hopping and skipping around like a maniac, which is what I typically do. The issue with that is that although it feels more productive to me because I will do more writing in a single session if I stimulate myself in that way, it creates these like consistency errors and flow of logic. That was something that I was noticing a lot in this past revision of Moths. And also just in the process of revising, naturally you do add more scenes in and take scenes out, and that can mess with the flow. But it's something that I want to be more conscious of because I'm not good at identifying that particular weakness in writing in general, including my own writing. I am getting better. I'm really pushing myself to read and to look for those consistency and logic issues when I read, but it's just not something that my brain naturally picks up on, probably because it is so sporadic in here. I think in order to make things easier on myself, it does help to write scenes in order. Therefore, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. I also have fun makeup on today. I have little daisies on my eyes. I found that fun makeup just makes me feel more upbeat and happy. Overall though, I do feel very good about this book. I think the outline is really solid. Act 2, she might be tricky, but we'll get there when we get there. For the final thing that you'll probably see in this vlog, I have been like slowly but surely kind of just like lightly revamping my office space. It is a very, very slow process. My goal is to make and frame paintings for the walls. Nothing big. Well, I just want like some more wall art. I can show you guys what my favorite piece looks like. My only piece. That was a Christmas gift from my partner's sister. I love it so much. I love any sort of like naturalist art. So to keep with that, I'm making some kind of like moody cottagecore gouache paintings just on the side whenever I have free time to like hang up. I don't have any ready yet, but if I get a moment here or there, I might work on that with you guys. What else? Oh, I also have been just like going crazy and ordering things like this cute mouse. I haven't had a mouse this entire time. I also ordered some keycaps for my keyboard. I think they're coming today and I am so excited to put them on. 90% of the reason that I decided to start filming today is because I want to put the keycaps on. I bought them with my own money from Mechlands, who have been sending me keyboards. I'm just excited for this new desk makeover era. I think that's pretty much it. I have some emails to respond to. Actually, funny story, I just got my US book contract in the email, so I'm going to sign it. I'm going to tidy up a bit and then let's sign my contract. Oh, this is not a good angle. Okay, that's what we're doing, I guess. You're just gonna see me from this position. Obviously, I'm on the phone with Taylor. Let me take these off. And we are going to write in just a second here, but I just signed my US contract for MOTHSBLOOD, and it's so nice to get that off my chest. When people say that publishing is slow, believe them, because it took a long time. Now I'm going to just like edit a little bit of my San Francisco vlog, and then we're going to dive into writing. It's gonna be a good little morning session, and it's actually lunchtime. It's 12:30. Forget I said that. Hi! I was just filming a little quick update. I was trying to sneak one in.
Oh no, you're good, you're good. You do it. You do
No,
it.
no, I'm good, I'm good. Cool. Well, let's write. Okay. Yay! Okay. Let's get it.
Sometimes I'll just taste it. What I wouldn't do for a bowl of queso.
Oh. Feet. Feet. Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm leaving. No remorse. None at all. Yes, pretty. Oh, you have such pretty eyes. Hello. Just figured I'd give you guys like an hour in, a 1 hour update. Kind of a scramble this early afternoon here. I started out trying to edit a vlog that I really want to come out in a couple weeks, but then my computer decided that, you know what, I'm not going to handle this today. I'm just going to be a brat and not work at all. What just happened? And then we added Brielle to the call, so she just went to do a little like matcha and bathroom break, and then Taylor left, so it's just me and Brielle body doubling now, and she's working really hard, so I feel the need to also work hard. So I actually opened up my outline document for book 2 of CRYPTS, because I'm currently planning this as a duology. I just feel like the story that I want to tell is a little bit too big for one book, although I do prefer a standalone most of the time. So I was outlining kind of like that. I already have the entire synopsis drafted for book 2. I'm sure elements will change, but for the most part, you know, I have pretty much every beat in the story mapped out. I'm transferring that into a chapter by chapter format to kind of test the pacing, but I'm going to switch gears off that, and we are actually going to finally work on CRYPTS. So I have chapter 3 open here. I don't know if I've ever admitted as much in public before, but I write some really chunky chapters. Let's see how long this is, because it's incomplete and it's already 1,500 words. I probably will add another 1,500 to it. My average chapter length is like 3,000 words. Sorry to everyone who likes a shorter chapter, it just isn't me. But this one's interesting because it's almost like an action scene. The purpose of it is to kind of like show what the main character can do, show more of the relationships between the secondary characters, and also to explore the magic system a little bit. I'm really proud of the magic system in CRYPTS. It's actually pretty complicated though, and although I've like tried different things to make it less so, it has remained complicated. I don't think it's difficult to understand. There's just a lot of like nuances to the necromancy. This chapter is really important to establish a lot of those nuances. You get like an overview, a broad overview in the earlier chapters, and now we're getting into the nitty-gritty because most everyone is a magic user in this book of some fashion. So that's kind of fun, but it's also a little tedious because I think really where I like to shine as a writer and where I'm most drawn, like the scenes that I really want to write, they're all about the characters, like introspection or different dynamics between different people, what they bring out in each other. And something that's a little more world building heavy isn't really my forte, but we're gonna get through it, and I hope to get this done in the next half hour to an hour or so. I think I should have my keycaps so we can do that. Or we can build the desk that's coming. There's so much to get done today, and I have to wake up early tomorrow. That was my update for the afternoon. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Bye.
Hello. So I just got a package in the mail. It is my new keycaps. So let's open this and then like figure out how to put them onto the actual keyboard. I am very excited. I've been resisting the urge to get mechanical keyboard caps ever since I got my first mechanical keyboard, like a little over a year ago, I want to say, because I was like, there's no way. That's a little bit too frivolous of a purchase even for me at this stage. But I've recently become a monster. Oh, shut up. It is so cute. But here's the packaging. I have been fortunate enough to work with a couple of mechanical keyboard companies in the past year or so because, I don't know, my love for mechanical keyboards is documented, it's well known. I would by no means classify myself as anywhere near knowledgeable or experienced about them, but I am a fan. And Mechlands was kind enough to send me the F99 Aula, or Ola, I don't really know, but this is a 99% full build, and I was like, this is the keyboard that I'm going to put cute keyboard caps on. I want something big, I want something gorgeous, I want something that'll live on my desk. As it stands right now, this kind of like white and blue color scheme, although absolutely gorgeous, doesn't quite fit my aesthetic, and especially doesn't fit my mouse that I just got. And listen, I know it's frivolous. I know this is, you know, consumption core, and we don't love that, but I went ahead and with my own money, I bought some keycaps in green from Mechlands that were on sale. And these are the Rainy Froggy Day keycaps. Shut up, that's so cute. This is a purchase that'll make me happy. I use my keyboard every single day. This isn't just, you know, decor. It's so cute. And they're rounded. Oh God, this is going to be so much fun. Again, I did buy these with my own money. This is what we're working with. There's a couple layers in here actually. So look at the details. I am so obsessed. Oh yeah, that looks so right. Okay, this looks correct. This looks correct. So here's the deal. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to put these beautiful keycaps onto my keyboard. I think you just like wrench them off. I'm gonna look up some tutorials and figure that out. Let's do this. Let's have just a fun afternoon doing this. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've never done this before, but I'm so stoked. Okay, bye.
Hi, VoiceOver Lynn is back again to provide some context. So after setting up my keyboard, which I did while literally on call with a couple other people running productivity sprints, it was time for the gym. And this marks exactly a month since I'd been going to the gym regularly. I have been going 3 times a week, and honestly, it's made such a difference just in terms of how I feel, my energy levels, and all that. But yes, it is a huge pain, and I usually don't write or do anything after because it just sucks the energy out of me. Understandably, I think. It was also raining incredibly hard the whole time we were there. We were always there for about an hour to an hour and a half. And by the time we emerged, it looked like literally a hurricane had swept through. There were fallen branches everywhere. The rain was not coming down nearly as hard, but we could see the debris. And then we got home and discovered that the power had been out for at least an hour. So yeah, not much got done that night, I have to say. But everyone was safe and nothing was damaged.
Storm knocked the power out. Anyway, good morning. That was like the most feeble good morning I've ever given. You are going to have to watch me do my makeup again because we're going out today against my will. So I have class today, but my class is from 1 to 4 in Madison, and my partner also works in the city, so we commute together. But my partner obviously like works a traditional job, so he has to be there by like 9 at the latest. And so I go down in the morning with him, and I actually drive in the morning and he drives in the afternoon. That's what we were doing throughout my like fall semester, and we're resuming it now that I have classes. So what that does is obviously gives me like a good chunk of free time in the morning, like almost 4 hours. And what I've usually done is like sit in a cafe or grab a lunch or something and, you know, type, work away. So for this morning, I'm gonna go back to the place where last week I got an iced matcha latte with coconut milk and peach flavor. And it was like the perfect summer drink. It was so good. I actually had a dream about it last night. That's how excited I am about getting this drink again. It's from a place though where like it's not very sit friendly. So I might go into my building, by which I mean like the building where all of my classes take place, that I feel some sense of ownership to, which is a unique experience for such a big school. It's pretty insular in terms of like our program. We've had all our classes virtually on the same floor of the same building, and there's a lot of like empty spaces in there. But I'm also like, don't I want to explore and like see something other than the building I go to every single day? I'll be able to think better once I have my iced matcha latte with peach and coconut milk. Oh, also, I just got a text from Becca that reminded me of this. So yesterday we had the blackout at like 5:30. Also at 5:30, apparently I got an email telling me that I got the job. I mean, there's a couple steps that need to happen before I fully get the job, but like I am the candidate being referred for the job. And if everything goes well, which it should, because unless something has drastically changed, I should pass a background check at the very least. But I didn't see it until 9 p.m. because of the drama with the lights, and also I was just kind of like scrambling to get food because we couldn't cook anything because everything is electric. We couldn't shower. The lights came on pretty quickly, but it was drama. It doesn't feel real. I will be gainfully employed. All of my stress was for nothing. All of my like catastrophizing and plan Bs, blah, blah, blah. I know. Just goes to show things work out. And I'm so excited. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't want to accidentally dox myself, but it's my dream job, it's my dream position, my dream school, my dream community of kids to work with. Like, everything is just a dream. I'm so happy. I'm trying to decide if I want to match my makeup to like my brown accent with my tank and my earrings, or like do a bit of gold or a bit of green. Kind of want to do stars. I've just found a lot of joy in being myself and specifically expressing myself through my style and my makeup this summer. It just makes me feel, which sounds maybe a little counterintuitive, more comfortable in my skin. I did 2 stars at the inner and outer corner here, and then I'm going to do like a soft disconnected line to kind of arc across the lid. I'm like off camera, sorry. I'm very focused. Monolids. So I don't know if you can see it. It's like this. And then when I open my eye to any extent, it kind of disappears. Also, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys. This was a Valentine's Day gift a couple years ago. It's water activated liners and I love them so much. I need a big palette like this. I need to feel like I have options. Okay. That's what we're working with. And then I put on my glasses and you can't even tell. That's the best part. We are going to head out pretty soon. I'll catch up with you guys after I get my matcha.
So after dropping my partner off, I kicked off my morning in Madison with 4 hours to get stuff done before class. I had to start off, of course, by braving the rain to get my iced peach matcha latte with coconut milk. Ugh, I cannot express how perfect this drink is for summer. Thank you, Java Den, for everything. Unfortunately, my grant plans for the morning were pretty much ruined when I got a random email saying that I was given my grant money by accident and that I needed to pay it back. It was not a scam, it was from the school. So I trekked through the rain to the financial services office to be like, hey, what the actual heck is this? And as of the time of posting this video, it still hasn't been resolved. Anyway, I need to chill out. I did what I could and went to one of the science buildings to study after my meeting. Because it's summer, it's super quiet on campus, which is how I prefer it, honestly. And this building has such cool art and a ton of plants and several seating areas on the second floor. It feels very historic. I was still so mad about my grant, though, that I only squeezed in like one little sprint before class, but whatever. Little update, I'm about 15 minutes into a writing session. I'm still in the botany department, but it's going pretty well. I'm almost done with chapters 3 and 4. Okay, it has to be said, I just got home and sat down and was like looking at my desk and just seeing
how cute my keyboard is, especially when it's like matchy-matchy with my mouse, actually brought me so much joy. So there's a lot to be said about just like customizing stuff that you use every day and see every day and making your space your own. I am a little dazed. Hi.
We're eating spaghetti.
Okay, I guess we're doing spaghetti tonight. Anyway, I'm a little dazed. I fell asleep in the car on the way back, 100%. And I want to just give you like a little recap of my day before I wrap up today's portion of the video. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a dramatic day with just everything that was going on with my grant. I've emailed like 7 people about it at this point, but it is the summer, so we'll see what happens. But what's something interesting and writing related that did happen today was that I emailed my agent. I was a big girl and I was like, hey, here's what's going on with Project CRYPTS. I was really just in the zone and feeling good about the project, and like she knows about it. She's read a synopsis of it as of several months ago, like a while. And obviously I talk about it like every day on YouTube, so it would be insane if the only person in my writing circles who did not know about Project CRYPTS were my agent. All that is to say, I kind of wanted to see like where we were at in terms of timelines and the rest of my career. And we, as always, my agent is the best. And every time I have like an asinine question and I feel like I'm bothering her, she takes the time out of her busy as hell day and writes like an essay in response to answer every possible facet of the question and like check in with me and get my opinion on stuff and like where I'm at. And it's just made me so comfortable to like reach out to her about any concerns or questions or wonderings I have about publishing. I got one of those essays back and was like looking at it, and we had a really good kind of email exchange about the direction of my career and like the future of Project CRYPTS and the future of MOTHSBLOOD and all this stuff. And it just felt really good to lay it all out there, because I feel like, you know, I originally told her I was gonna send this in end of spring, and obviously that didn't happen. At the time when I had made that deadline, we hadn't even sold MOTHSBLOOD yet, so most of my spring was actually eaten up by those revisions. And personally, it's very, very difficult for me to be in 2 modes at once. I can work on multiple projects at once, I think, but I have to be like drafting both of them or revising both of them. And also like my preference is to only work on one project at a time. It felt good to kind of like get that off my chest. Sounds a bit dramatic because it was never that serious, but like, yeah, get that off my chest, update her on the progress of the project, which sounds crazy because as of today, I am over 15,000 words into what is probably going to be at least 100K. I mean, I'm doing this at an incredible pace for me. I think the roadmap that I've given myself, this chapter by chapter outline that is very specific, highly detailed, that's been worked through a couple times, is like a miracle, because it's making me so productive at the drafting phase. Yes, there are some sections where I'm not as proud of the voice and the prose and the writing, but overall I'm like, I know exactly where the story needs to go. But I'm also having fun exploring the parts that I didn't thoroughly outline. For me, that's been like the pacing, the atmosphere, the strange details of the house, because it all takes place in like this big spooky house, coming up with ways that the house is weird, contributing that to the atmosphere. Like, it has been such a fun drafting experience so far. Granted, yes, I'm still not quite at that like halfway point. Once I get there, we'll see how I feel about it. But I do think that I can get this not only finished, but like relatively polished by fall. So yeah, that's kind of the new goalpost I've set for myself. I specifically want to get as much done for this project as possible this summer, because like I have a job now. I know that late August, September, my life is gonna look completely different. I'm excited for that. Like, I'm very excited for my career, even though I'm just starting out at the ripe old age of 27, almost 28. Sometimes I do worry, like, can I really juggle all of it? And I guess the only thing to do is find out. I think I've been pretty good about juggling a lot of different things at various stages of my life so far. Obviously, I don't want to overwork myself and die early, but I feel very fortunate to have like 2 things I'm super passionate about eating up so much of my time. I did warn my partner today that I'm about to become like the most workaholic I've ever been. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that was my update for today. So career talks, which honestly, yes, they're kind of like anxiety inducing, but I love having a roadmap and I love feeling like I'm on the same page with someone in terms of my long-term goals. And I love my keyboard, so I'm actually going to sit down and write as we get dinner ready. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's another school day. Tomorrow and Thursday, and then I have Friday off.
Just kidding, we're building a desk.
Yep, the rest of our new desk got delivered, so my partner and I spent the evening putting it together in our joint office space. This desk was actually a gift from the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. This is my second FlexiSpot standing desk, and it is the E2L L-shaped desk with 3 legs, which can be either right or left oriented depending on your space needs. This thing is seriously huge, with so much desk space that it's hard to believe that it actually goes up and down, but as you can see, it absolutely does. FlexiSpot's desks are crafted from high quality materials and are built to be sturdy for everyday use. As someone who spends long stretches of time at their desk, it's seriously made such a genuine difference to have a height adjustable working space so I can go from standing to sitting and vice versa and just mix it up a bit. And FlexiSpot has so many style, material, and size options as well. If you're interested in a FlexiSpot desk of your very own, then feel free to check out the link in the description box. For full transparency, if you purchase anything through my link, I will receive a small commission, so if that makes you uncomfortable, then feel free to skip. Thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video.
Are we bothering you? Sorry, honey.
Morning. It's Wednesday. It's almost 10 o'clock and I have to get going. I have class today. Usually my Wednesday class is asynchronous, but we are going to the Capitol to like be in court or something. And then after I'm going to hang out with some friends. So today's going to be kind of a wash in terms of writing, but that's okay. But one thing I do need to do before I head out is answer literally 1,000 emails. Yeah, it's literally just like endless emails that I woke up to this morning. How are you guys? I feel a little lost. We were up so late with not really the desk so much. I feel like that wasn't too much of a process, but like clearing everything out in this room and then putting everything back in. That, we were up until like midnight doing that. I'm gonna do my makeup real quick and talk about writing, even though I didn't really write yesterday. Goals today. Let's see, I'm done with chapter 3 and now I'm starting to think like my agent wants to see the first 3 chapters and my updated synopsis, which is fine. I'd like to polish up chapter 3. I think chapters 1 and 2 are as good as they're gonna get at this point in time, but I would like to be a little further along. I have also spent some time outlining a potential follow-up to this book because I have always envisioned it as a duology, and I think it's just a world and characters that require maybe a bit more space and time to really develop and to follow their story. I've never stole multiple books. That doesn't make any sense. Moths was a 1-book deal, obviously, because we'd be seeking a new deal for CRYPTS. Actually, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to talk about because what if it doesn't sell? But I feel like it's such a different ballgame. Like when you're querying with multiple books, which I have done before, or you know, not multiple books, but a book that you envision as the first part of a series, you kind of have to like gaslight yourself and potential agents by being like, this is a standalone with series potential. That's the wording that always gets used in query letters for books that are very clearly like the start of a series, but they have to be able to hold their own. Or at least that's like the common advice. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think some stories just require more books. Again, we see these intersections and these conflicts between art and commerce in this industry, which I've always found incredibly fascinating. There's so many compromises you have to make in order to sell books, but at what point do you draw the line? And I think the answer is incredibly different for pretty much every person. And I'm honestly still trying to find where I stand. I think ultimately I'm more willing to make compromises early career so I have a little more freedom and flexibility later. Part of it is also like building audience trust. Like if I want to do something weird and zany, like finally write my vampire cowboy book, which sounds so ridiculous when I say it, I want to be able to put that out into the world in its truest form, in the form that I like, and know that at least some of my readers trust me enough, they would at least give it a shot, even if they don't like it. I have been listening to a lot of V.E. Schwab's No Right Way podcast, and I resonate a lot, not comparing myself to V.E. Schwab at all, because no, I'm not at that level, but I do resonate with a lot of what she says about just like every book she writes has been so different from the rest of her catalog. I kind of want to build a catalog like that. I'm writing different and interesting stuff and like keeping myself entertained, because at the end of the day, I am extremely selfish. And I think that my priority is to keep myself entertained. Like if I had to write a dark academia, adult fantasy every year and just keep turning those out forever, I would go crazy. I would not be able to do it. I'm in education and I feel like I've said almost everything that I want to say about education and academic systems in MOTHSBLOOD. Like I don't have another dark academia in me, but I have a lot of other stories in me. They're just really different. What? I don't even know how I got here. Like 10, 20 years down the line, if I'm fortunate enough to be alive and to still be writing and publishing books, which is my goal and is like what I'm working toward, even if I'm not like incredibly huge bestseller. Like I still I don't care if I'm mid-list, I don't care if I'm bottom of the barrel, as long as I still get to publish books. But at this point, I just want to build enough trust, both with readership and I guess with publishers or whatever, to get to that point where I can just like keep going, keep putting out weird stuff. So that's where I'm at. I have a lot of like, my anxiety often manifests as me thinking about the far future in like very weird ways. We're gonna go pretty light with the makeup today because I will be in court or whatever. I don't want to look too kooky and zany because they'll arrest me. I look so bald without mascara. Okay, that's what we're working with today. All right, I'm gonna go respond to emails. Then it is on with the day.
Alright, this seems like a good point to talk about what my drafting process has looked like lately. I found that I work best when I just sit down with noise-canceling headphones and just go for it. I usually read a few scenes or a chapter right before the scene I'm working on, and I also have my chapter-by-chapter outline and my more overarching official synopsis pulled up in case I need a roadmap, but for the most part I mostly trust my gut. Because I've been writing stories and books and thinking about stories and books for quite some time now, I've learned to trust my instincts when it comes to story, if that makes sense. And although I do always go into drafting with a plan, I try not to treat my outlines like they're the law. It's kind of like when you're going on a road trip, like yes, you want to know where you're going and what your major stops are, but it's also okay to pull over and check out like the world's biggest chair or whatever. The journey is kind of the point. Oh yeah, after this morning session, I had class in the Capitol building at Madison, and it was pretty interesting. Then I went out to like a late lunch/early dinner and got myself some curry, which was delicious. Then I went over to Leopold's, which is my favorite spot in the whole city, because I had plans to go to trivia at like 8 p.m. with some friends, so I had 4 hours by myself to kill. I just ordered myself a Vietnamese iced coffee to stay awake, which, no joke, I used to drink 3 to 4 cups of Vietnamese iced coffee, egg coffee, etc. every day while I was backpacking through Vietnam. And anyway, I sat in and wrote some more, and then I ordered a rose matcha latte so they wouldn't get mad at me for being there for 4 hours. And yeah, honestly, that time actually went by super quickly.
Good morning. It's currently Thursday. I don't know what time it is. I woke up kind of late. The humidity it's coconut heading me again despite my best efforts, but we're gonna work with it. So I've decided to stay home today against, better judgment. Actually, no, it was a very easy decision. To catch up on my exploits, last night we got 14th place in trivia. I ended up getting home like well past midnight. I'm tired and I also have a lot to do, and I just know I'm not gonna get it done shuttling myself back and forth from class only to be there for like 2 hours. I'm staying home today. And I also want to spend time at my gorgeous desk with my adorable keyboard. Seriously, this is not a bit. Every time I look at it, it makes me happy. We're gonna get some stuff done this morning/afternoon. I don't sleep very well when I go to bed late, and I went to bed at like 2 because I bodied that Vietnamese iced coffee and that matcha back to back at like 6 and 7 p.m. So my body just wouldn't let me fall asleep. But my body also doesn't let me not wake up early, so it woke me up at 7. I'm gonna nap today is basically what I'm saying. I'm going to take a nap probably at 3 or 4 p.m. and it's going to feel disruptive and weird, but that's just what we're working with. I'm going to finally open my computer and check my emails and stuff like that. I've been having some a lot of stuff is happening just with the job and, all of the new job stuff that happens with that, and also sponsors and I don't know. I also would love to get some writing and video editing done today because I am feeling really just incredibly good about writing. I'm excited, I'm happy, just enjoying the story and enjoying the process in a way that I haven't in a really long time. So I feel like while I have that energy going for me, I have to take advantage of it. Progress for CRYPTS. I was able to, as you saw, get some words in as I was waiting for trivia to start. I am now at 16,500 words. We're not really going by word count. This is kind of more or less 4 complete chapters. Chapter 4 needs some blanks filled in, and then I might go back to chapter 3 and revisit it because it's very action heavy right now and it just feels a little bit too early in the process of this book or in the trajectory of
the story to have such like a physical scene. I want it to stay moody. I want it to be like a very slow burn in terms of building up that tension, getting to those heightened points of not violence. This isn't a violent scene, but like activity. So that's kind of what I'll be doing today. I don't think I'm gonna finish Act 1 if I'm being completely realistic. I am about 4 chapters off from that. I have spent a lot of time in particular on the first 2 chapters. I'm very happy with those. And I feel like once I have that good base, it just makes it so much easier to continue and keep drafting the book. Because I know that first part is good, so I know that I can get the rest of it to be at that level of quality, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm spouting nonsense. I'm exhausted. We are gonna get started and get to working. I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. There's another space for thoughts in there. It's hollow.
You are so famous. You're listening to the books. Hello. So I have to run out in a minute here to go to an appointment, but it is Friday morning. It is about... Oh, my watch is not charged. After I get back from my appointment, my goal, maybe I'll pick up like a mantra or something on the way back, but my goal is really to just settle in for the rest of the day and have a full day of writing, treat it like a 9 to 5 almost. Some things I'd really like to do are go back to chapters 3 and 4. Again, chapters 1 and 2 are fine. I do not need to touch them, although everything in me says that I have to look over them yet again. And really polish those up, spit shine them, make sure that they are good. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to have to rework chapter 3 because I just feel like it's such a tonal shift. Maybe it's different in my head than how it actually is on the page, but I'd like to revisit that. I'd like to revisit chapter 4 because I finished that as of last night, and then hopefully today I'll be able to get through chapter 5 as well. Based on my outline, Act 1 should be around 8 chapters long, so I'm a good chunk of the way through. In total, and this number might change, the book is about 27 to 30 chapters based on the outline. Again, this might change. It all depends on how the scenes pace themselves out. If I have time for it, or if I get bored of like drafting and revising and revisiting CRYPTS 1, I'm going to go back and finish outlining CRYPTS 2. Again, the synopsis is finished. I'm pretty happy with the direction of the story. It's just I do a chapter by chapter outline after I have a 2-page synopsis to get a sense of the pacing and how the beats fall into specific acts. Today is the last day of this vlog, so I will do a little wrap up because tomorrow I'm starting a new vlog, which is going to be the 24-hour reading challenge that I'll be doing with Taylor and Amina. Super excited about that, honestly, but because I'm preparing to like just read over the weekend, I really want to spend today writing. So that is the goal, and maybe today is a cafe day. I don't know. You know what? I've just decided that it is. I've just decided that I'm going to spend the morning in the cafe because I don't video edit in public. So this will force me to get into the writing mindset and not get distracted by the video I have to do. That seems like a good plan. I'm gonna go to my appointment, go to a cafe, write for about an hour or so, and then come back. Let's do it. My headphones at home. Hi, obviously I'm back home.
made it safe and sound. I just like ran a couple errands after my appointment because I didn't have headphones. I mean, I don't want to blame my lack of headphones, but even without headphones, I did still manage to get in a nice 30-minute writing session at the cafe. Not as long as I wanted to write, frankly, but it was better than nothing. And then after that, I went to my local consignment store and like got rid of some clothes that have been sitting in my closet that don't fit anymore. And then I bought way too many things. All that is to say, I'm back home now. It's around lunchtime, but I'm not super hungry because I had that chocolate croissant at breakfast and coffee, which I don't usually drink, but I've had coffee like a couple times this past week, and I am ready to settle in for the rest of the afternoon-ish to write. I actually just had like a brain flash as I was driving. A brain flash, a spark of inspiration, and there's a scene that I want to work my way up to that I'm actually really excited to write. I don't want to get too into it, but it's like a really pivotal moment for the main character, and it happens right before she gets information or something happens to her that completely recontextualizes her motivation. So very excited to write those scenes in particular, but I don't know if you guys know, this might be too niche, but Susan Dennard, the author of the Thread Witch, Truth Witch, like those series, I've been following her newsletter, and she was such a resource for me when I was first querying and stuff like that. And she has a technique or a method of drafting where reaching for these half-formed memories, but she calls the scenes that she's really excited to write cookies, and she treats them as like a little treat, but she has to work her way up to those cookie scenes, like those really exciting moments that are high octane, pivotal, really fun to write, and that you like want to get onto the page. You have to like work your way up to them. You have to earn them. So that's kind of the approach that I'm gonna do as I work my way up to those particular scenes. The only thing is I'm not 100% sure about the placement of them, which is why I also think writing that build up and writing up to that point is important, because I want to get the pacing right. And I've been like jumping around more than I should be, and it just really knocks the pacing and like the causality all out of whack. I'm gonna sit in this chair for at least a couple hours and like work. I don't care. I want to write. I'm excited. And then we're probably gonna wrap up this video and be done for the week. Let's get to it. One last session of writing. Let's get it.
Hi!
Hey! Are you at a coffee shop?
I am.
Okay.
Hear the grinding of the
Yeah, I also see the fee behind you. Okay, let's... You wanna work?
Yes, let's work. I've been here for like 2 hours and I'm like, I'm not leaving until I finish this chapter.
Goodness gracious. Alright, yeah, I'm with you. Let's get it. Let's jump right in.
Okay, let's go.
Hi. So from the sound of it, I'm probably going to be headed to the gym soon with my partner. I'm gonna go ahead and get this outro out of the way, wrap this video up, wrap this week up, and talk a little bit about stats, numbers. I'm still getting kind of used to like summer in general and being a little bit in control of my own time, but also like juggling that with classwork and all of this stuff. I don't know, I think it was a pretty good week. I just finished up like a 40-minute writing session. I actually spent like the hour before that working on a really long video that I'm going to upload in a couple weeks, which is going to be my full-time writer vlog. Preemptively, please check that vlog out because I already can tell it's going to be one of my favorite videos that I've made in a really long time. So yeah, if you want to see me try and be a full-time author and be really irresponsible with my money and time, go check that out. So it's about 4:36, and today in total, I got about 2 hours of just straight pure writing and a little bit of revision in. I actually just finished reading through chapters 1 through 3 from beginning to end, and chapter 3 is definitely not nearly as bad as I thought it was. I'm still gonna sit on it and give it a little time because I'm actually going to submit the first 3 chapters of CRYPTS to my agent to just kind of make sure I'm on the right track, because for some reason I just have this urge to make sure with as many people as possible that the opening is strong, because I feel like it is, but I could be delusional. Who knows? Pretty happy with that amount of time spent working on this book. I think that like 2 hours, 3 hours is pretty good for me, especially because I tend to write in chunks. For a day where I had pretty much nothing else going on, yeah, maybe it's not so good, but it's Friday. Like, I am getting ready to unwind for the weekend before I start the 24-hour reading challenge tomorrow, which is kind of the opposite of rewinding. And in
total, let's see, when did this week start? 27, yes, 26. In total, I worked on this book for about 5 hours, and I know I worked a little bit on Project Green, which is a new project that I'm not going to talk about yet, if I'm being honest, because I'm not there yet, but I was just tinkering with it. I sank about 30 minutes into that. So if I'm being generous, including the times where I didn't time myself, probably around 6 hours across this week. And that is scattered across 5 days where I was like in class doing stuff. It doesn't feel like a lot. It's only a little bit more than an average of an hour a day across 5 days. But keep in mind that these are the minutes, the seconds that I spend actively in the document. It doesn't take into account research, brainstorming, daydreaming, all the other kind of thinking work that goes into writing. And I also tend to be quite efficient when I'm locked in for those like 20 to 30 to 40 minute chunks. I type very quickly, I'm working quickly, I'm reading quickly. When I'm fully focused like that, I can get a really good amount of quality words in a pretty short amount of time. I'm very happy with where I'm at. No, I didn't finish Act 1, but I just am so glad to be feeling good about this book, good about the story, good about my productivity as a writer. And it was a fun, realistic week. Nothing too crazy, but we got some words in and we got some stuff done. That being said, I honestly don't have that much more to say in this video, so we're gonna wrap it up. If you made it all the way to the end, as always, I guess the emoji that I'm gonna choose for today is going to be, let's say some like ocean waves, like that tsunami wave emoji, if you have it, if you can find it. If not, just tell me what you've been up to this week, what have you been working on, any milestones, any aspirations for next week. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me as I go through a regular week in my life in the summer. It is wild to think that my grad school is wrapping up in a month at the time of filming this. It's been a wild year and I'm excited to figure out how my schedule, how my work-life balance is going to change moving forward. I really see videos like this as a time capsule for this moment in my life, and it's been an interesting moment. Thank you again. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, maybe. I say even though I have the app actively uninstalled from my phone, but I have to get back into it eventually. And if you guys are on there, that'll motivate me to do it more, maybe, I don't know. But thank you again, and I will see you next time. Bye.